Imagine a year where a scoundrel in a Sherwood forest with his merry men steal from the rich to give to the king.
That doesn't sound like what's meant to happen at all, but what year is that, Zach?
The year is 1938.
Hello and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie. Oh my gosh golly god darn, is this a big episode? Because we're doing our first movie in colour, in Technicolor. Oh my goodness, The Adventures of Robin Hood. My name is Sandro. I'm currently hanging out in Hungary, looking for my co-host Zach in a bunch of these random passerbys. I always just pick one. Zach teleports into that body because I'm actually back in 1938 because of time travel stuff. This person, hello, you look like you've got something to say.
Hello there, young boy.
Oh my goodness, an Italian in Hungary? What is this? This is crazy.
No, this is just the least offensive accent. Trying to do it a Hungarian accent, really difficult.
Oh, I see. Cool. Hey, what's your name? What are you doing here in Hungary? And are you bloody hungry for some bloody pizza pasta? That's, I can say that.
That was racist. Now look, my accent was bad, but that was racist. All right. I'm Laszlo Biro. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Laszlo Biro, as in you like to bloody get on the beers?
No. As you Englishmen sometimes pronounce it, Laszlo Biro.
Oh, right. Okay. What are you? Who are you? Why should I care about you, sir? Why should I care about you?
What do you mean? Why do you need to care about me? We are strangers here. I do not know you. You do not know me. We no need to care. There's no need to. You Englishmen, you idiots.
I need a reason. To care about your character because I'm a dumb audience member. I need attention. What are you doing? Tell me a story.
Like all Englishmen, you are all silly. You're all stupid.
It's true.
But I cannot give you a story. But maybe you can write your own with this. Haha.
What is that, a ballpoint pen?
Yeah, it is, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. You guessed correctly, because my last name is Biro. Yes, it is in fact the first...
Yep.
The first, in fact, patented and commercial ballpoint pen.
Oh my
goodness. I have invented it and patented it this year.
Wow, this year? That's so crazy. That's amazing. Wow, the pen is I love the pen. But here's my question, Mr. Biro. Do you have your bloody pen license? I'm gonna need to see it. I'm the bloody pen cop man. Do you have your pen license?
You're literally in Hungary. You have literal no authority. You're not a police officer. And also, like, in 5 years, I'm gonna have to flee to Argentina because of the Nazis. But don't worry about it.
Oh, no. You know that World War II's coming up in a year? That must be pretty sad. Oof.
Yeah, everyone knows. It's been in the papers.
Hang on a second here, sir. Hang on a bloody second, Laszlo Biro. I've just received word that the first ballpoint pen was actually invented 50 years earlier by John J. Loud, but it wasn't commercially successful.
Yeah.
Oh, why,
I didn't say I invented it. I specifically didn't say those words. I said I patented it, because that's what I did.
Oh, so you're an asshole. That's who you are.
What the fuck? You come into my country. You insult me. You make racist comments. You say I specifically invented the type of ballpoint pen that will go on for years to be the most effective pen in history. Thank you very much. And your fucking bullshit. I'm done with it. I'm gonna stab you.
Oh, you're gonna stab me with the ballpoint pen? Oh no!
I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna gut you.
You're gonna
like a
shank
fish.
me like a fish, like we're in bloody prison. You're gonna shank me. I bloody hope that Zach comes into your body right now. Oh my god, there's ink going everywhere. It's like a scene from The Little Mermaid, or I haven't seen it. The new one. It's not out yet.
Yeah, that's very weird. I think this ballpoint pen is defective because ink's not supposed to go everywhere. That's literally the whole point of the pen. Was it was innovative in its fact that it didn't spray ink. This was pretty broken.
Zach, we're doing Robin the Rich, Robin Man, Robin. I've got your bow and arrow. I'm gonna shoot ya.
I've got a sweater on with a hood, and I am robbing people with the said hood. You could call me Mr. Hood Rob.
Mr. Hood Rob. Now, Robin Hood, it's like, it's based-ish off, like, historical events, but
yes.
Surely it's because he wore a hood and he robbed people that his name is Robin Hood.
No, definitely not.
I doubt that his name was Robin, because he's robbing people. He's robbing people. And you know that people back then liked their puns in the 17th century or whatever the fuck.
I think it might be like a famous bandit situation where they got a nickname. But, like, Hood could have been his last name, you know.
I mean, Hood definitely could have been the last name, yeah.
Yeah. Robin does sound a bit on the nose, especially to us nowadays. But it's possible. Robin is a good name.
Yeah, well, the first clear reference to Robin Hood was in, like, a poem during the 1300s.
Oh, okay. A poem. No, poets are fuckboys.
They're all liars.
He definitely made that shit up.
Yeah, they're all liars. I don't know. I think history's pretty certain that Robin Hood never existed. I'm pretty sure we're pretty certain that Robin Hood never existed. But that doesn't matter, because here's the thing, Zach. Here's what you don't understand. Here's what you need to understand and get through your skull, Zach. You need to get through it.
Oh, that's going to be pretty difficult because it's quite a thick skull.
You need to understand that fake people make the better stories, Zach. We don't care about real people.
Shit.
We want fake people.
What is this, Instagram? What are you talking about?
I don't know what this bit is, man.
Look, everyone's fake nowadays. You gotta fake it till you make it.
And speaking of fake, movies have taken one step towards not being fake, because this is our first Technicolor movie. We're doing Technicolor. We've got colors on the screen. Now, here's the thing, Zach. I don't see color, so I didn't notice any difference. But what did you think?
Shut up. Why do I agree to this? No, it was good.
I don't know.
It looked really nice. I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. This is like a movie I could watch nowadays.
You did watch it. You've been watching all these movies nowadays. I've been watching them back in time, but you've been watching them nowadays.
Sometimes I go a little back in time. I go like, 10, 20 years,
What?
Yeah, I could jump back here. Why can't I jump back to other times?
I mean, technically, you are correct. Yes.
Yeah. Look, the can of worms here just is endless for my capabilities. I've never established how I, possess people and what the fuck that's about,
We'll have to do it at one point. We'll have to do no. We're not doing that. We're not doing an exposition episode.
An exposition episode where we just, lay down the timeline and what the fuck's going on
What's
here.
actually going
it's
on?
getting too fucking confusing. No, but this movie was really good. No, I was thinking while watching it, I'm like, this is really... I might have seen this before.
Maybe. Have you seen the comedy one?
The comedy one? No, I haven't, and I really want to see that one, because I've seen clips of that one, and that one looks hilarious.
Yeah, Robin Hood Men in Tights. I haven't seen it either, but apparently that is just a direct parody of this. It's just a direct parody, so... there were moments when I was like, I feel like I've seen this scene before. Oh, no, I've seen the parody version of this scene, not the actual scene.
Yeah. I might have catched this on, TV at one point.
Yeah.
But, this was a banger of a movie, and I love the colors. It was very vibrant. It felt, especially seeing as we're going from, non-color to color.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, suddenly colors, and they're bright, vibrant, and they make full use of them. They're very colorful costumes, very colorful backgrounds, We do get a lot of the Sherwood sort of mottled leaves and other things, but it's all great.
It's very nice. All the sets are just wonderful. The big castles are just, I love it. I love it all. And just, the bright colors, Robin Hood has never looked greener. Will Scarlet has never looked redder. It's just woo. It's good. It's really good. I don't think I've seen this one before. With Robin Hood, my two go-to versions always were The animated movie, obviously.
Yeah. The Disney one, yeah?
Yeah. The one with all the sexy foxes.
Yeah, the furry bait. Gotcha.
And also, there was a TV show, I mentioned it last week, the BBC made, called Robin Hood in 2006. And I watched that. It's not good. Don't go back to it. It's real bad.
Whoa, wait.
But it's pretty funny.
Sorry, what again? Hold up.
Robin Hood from 2006. It's a BBC show. I will spoil it. I will spoil it very soon after you look it up and have a look at how fucking emo.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember seeing ads and stuff for this one, and how I didn't care at all.
I don't know why I did.
I mean, it looks kind of cool.
It was and it was like the era of like Doctor Who was back, Merlin was about to start, I think.
Oh, yeah, Merlin, what a banger.
Fucking terrible show. I mean, I kind of want to go back to it, because I'm sure it's awful now.
Dude, the CGI dragon does not hold up at all.
It didn't even hold up at the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it was really bad.
But, do you want me to spoil Robin Hood?
Go for it. Spoilers for anybody who wants to watch Robin Hood.
That's right.
The 2006 TV series.
So season 1 was pretty good. It followed the story that we all know. You know, it was fun.
Classic.
Season 2, it was a bit like, weird. What's going on here? And then in the final episode, they kill Robin Hood. Now, here's the thing. There's one more season left.
What? What? Whoa.
Yes.
What?
They kill Robin Hood. He's dead. He's
That's
a dead boy.
Bold move.
They murder him. They murderize him. And then I think Little John becomes Robin Hood for the final season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Anyway, it's not a very good show, but also it was pretty funny. Like where the scene where Robin Hood goes to a barn and has sex with a maiden and then has to kill her husband or some shit. That's something I remember in the first episode.
What?
I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, holy shit. That does not sound like the good guy Robin Hood that I know. Yeah, wow.
What versions of Robin Hood do you grow up watching? What's your Robin Hood?
Obviously the Disney one. I remember Robin Hood popping in as a character in other things.
Yeah, like Shrek and stuff.
Yeah, and Tom and Jerry.
What?
I remember that one.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Tom and Jerry, Robin Hood, and his Merry Mouse. It's very much like the Disney one, right? Time Bandits. In Time Bandits, they meet Robin Hood.
Oh, okay.
Man, I haven't seen Time Bandits in a long time. I need a refresher on that one.
So Jerry is Robin Hood, and Tom is... Who the fuck is... I don't understand what's going on in this.
Tom is like the whatchamacallit? The sheriff.
Right.
And Jerry is obviously the bandit, so they're having the whole bout.
Huh.
But, like, actual Robin Hood exists, I think, in that. Like, they're just in the Robin Hood times.
Gotcha.
So Robin Hood exists, and the Merry Mouse, you know, is working with Robin Hood.
Okay.
And the cat is working for the king. That was a good one. Anyway, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He's Robin, and he's a hooded man. Except he's not really a hooded man. He doesn't wear a hood.
No. I mean, he's a hooded, like, he's got a hood on when he's about to be hung.
That's true.
When he's, when he's about to be hanged.
It's Robin in the Hood.
Robin in, that exists. Robin in the Hood exists. Don't look it up. It exists. It's on YouTube.
I'm going to look it up immediately.
But, I thought this movie was pretty good. It's pretty similar to, like...
Oh my god.
It's pretty similar to, like, Dracula and Frankenstein and, like, Treasure Island and stuff. I think it's better than Treasure Island, but it's, like... It's just the classic story, and they haven't fucked with it. It's just the story.
Yeah. I mean, most people know Robin Hood. Everybody's got a little Robin Hood, you know?
But we'll do some spoiler-free stuff and then get into some spoiler stuff. For example, the main character is Robin Hood. He's played by Errol Flynn. And Marion's played by Olivia de Havilland, and it's directed by Michael Curtis.
Wait a minute. I've seen this one before.
Yeah, all three of them were in Captain Blood. I think Captain Blood's better, but they are all fantastic still. And Errol Flynn as Robin Hood is just so good. He's so
Yeah,
good.
he's fantastic. He is the Robin Hood. Like, you know, he's what I think of when I think of Robin Hood.
Oh, which fucking makes sense, because Captain Blood, that performance was very similar to the Dread Pirate Roberts in Princess Bride. And the actor who plays Dread Pirate, that's Carrie Elways, he's Robin Hood in Robin Hood Men in Tights. So that makes sense that he would base his performances off Errol Flynn.
That's funny. Oh my god, yeah, because he would have already been, like, proficient in copying Errol Flynn, like, studying and doing a... Oh, that's so good. That's great.
That makes so much sense.
That's incredible.
Anyway, I think the action here is maybe better than it is in Captain Blood, but aside from that, I don't think it's as good.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think the sword fights was better. That end sword fight we had was actually really well choreographed, and I quite liked it a lot. There was a small thing where, spoiler, in one scene, they whack swords together and it bends one of the swords, and they cut to the next scene, and they're, you know, back to a regular sword. But I noticed one of the Robin Hood's sword, like, full-on bends, just for, like, literally half a second.
Right.
I'm like, they didn't cut that. That's very funny.
I did not notice that, not gonna lie.
It was only for, like, 2 seconds, and I noted it, and I was like, oh, that's funny.
But
yeah, the action was really good in this one. I felt that was done a bit better. I did like the other story, but maybe that's because I'm already familiar
with Robin Hood. Yeah.
And if this was like my first Robin Hood one, I might have preferred this film.
No, definitely. I think I still think the Disney one is probably better than this. They're different, but I don't know.
It's hard to compare them because obviously the Disney one's animated.
Yes.
And about foxes and other animal creatures.
I mean, plot-wise, it's basically the same, aside from the Crusades and all that
plot-wise,
sort of
it is
stuff.
the same. Yeah, look, the Disney's a classic, and, like, the first one I watched for Robin Hood sort of thing, and it's awesome. It's really good. It's probably better than this one, but this one's really good as well. This one's, like, this is what I would show if I wanted to introduce someone to the Robin Hood story.
Yeah, okay.
And then I would show them the Disney one.
I think this is a good place to start. And also, like, it doesn't feel slow either. We've been moving away from movies feeling slow, which is surprising because we're still in the 30s. But pace-wise, you show this to a kid, they'd probably, like, love it. It's not, like, it's quite brisk.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of indicating, like, I felt like I could have watched this nowadays.
Yeah.
You know? Because it felt very modern. Very well done. So I was quite impressed with it, especially with the color, you know. I was like, this could have been released, you know, a week ago, and I wouldn't have batted an eye, you know. It was
You wouldn't have batted an eye? As in you would have gone to the cinema, watched it, and not blinked the entire time? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I would have stared at that beautiful, beautiful man.
This movie is very notable, apparently, because of its soundtrack.
Oh, really?
And that's something I noticed was, the soundtrack of this movie. I think it's the best soundtrack we've had this year. It's so good. It's just, like, so epic. And every scene is like, da, 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 and I'm like, hell yeah, this is great. I just really enjoyed it. It's good stuff.
It's a good soundtrack. I knock it.
Yeah.
This is a great soundtrack.
Who else is in this? We got Basil Rathbone as Guy of Gisborne, he was in other stuff that we've done.
Yes.
I'm getting the list up now. He's in a whole bunch of stuff that we've done. What the fuck was he in? I can't find it. He was in stuff that we've done. He was in Captain Blood.
Ah, there you go. Yep.
That might have been the only thing he was in that we've done. I think it's just Captain Blood. But anyway, he's great in this as Guy of Gisborne because there's two versions of Robin Hood. There's a version of Robin Hood where the Sheriff of Nottingham is the bad guy.
Yes.
And then there's a version of Robin Hood where Guy of Gisborne is the bad guy and the Sheriff is the comedic character.
Yeah. Well, the main antagonist, like, because obviously the Sheriff is still in this movie.
Yes.
But he's more of a, like, as you said, comedic character where he's, like, kind of a wimp, a scaredy cat. So he's sending out men to do his job for him, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess Prince John's the bad guy, technically, but...
Well, yeah. But that's the same with the... In all the stories, you've got Prince John as the big bad, and you've got Guy Gisborne, or the Sheriff of Nottingham, as the, like, main antagonist that is constantly hunting. A bit like Pirate Blood, where you've got the king and then the guy who especially hates Robin Hood and is going full on out to try and capture Robin Hood, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, which is quite good.
Prince John, by the way, in this, really good.
Yeah, he's played by the Invisible Man. It's the actor who plays the Invisible Man playing him. Yeah, he's fantastic. I loved him.
He's awesome. He's so sassy. He's just like, oh, Robin Hood's coming. You know what? Sit down. Give this man some food.
I think I really liked the entire cast. Like, I mentioned Will Scarlet earlier. He doesn't say much in this movie, but he looks great. He just looks like Robin, like as in the Batman Robin. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is great.
I was very confused there, but yes. Yeah.
Friar Tuck is great. Little John is great. Much was very funny. Always that was quite good as the old guy.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I liked Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
And it just like being like, you stole my mutton. Give me back my mutton.
That's a great scene.
Dude, I was so jealous. All the food on screen, I was like, oh, that would be so good. Oh, look at all that. Look at all these roast boars. Look at all these pheasants. Look at all this mutton. Oh.
I mean, yeah, but like, it wouldn't have tasted great. Like, there's no seasoning back then, you know what I mean? It's just meat.
They probably would have tasted pretty good.
You're saying it would taste good?
They had salt back then.
They would have had salt, but that's about it.
Yeah, the salt. Yeah, salt's all you need. Salt's all the seasoning you need for meat like that. Or they'd have like cherries. They'd have berries in general, not cherries specifically.
Yeah,
but they'd have berries like blackberries or something. You could do something with that.
You could do something there.
Yeah, you have some like cranberry sauce. You know, something like that. You know,
now you're bloody talking my language.
Yeah,
there we go.
You got lots of gravy. That's for sure. You know, you could pour some mead on it. You know,
pour some mead on the leg of boar.
That's a thing. That is a thing.
I know, but like,
yeah. Look, that was one of my weaker points. Let's move on.
Yeah, no, the feeding did look good. A bit of a fun fact: the actor who plays Little John played the same character in the 1922 silent movie Robin Hood. He played Little John in that one, and then he played him again in the 50s for a film called Rogues of Sherwood Forest. He's played the character bloody 3 times, mate.
He's literally a professional Little John.
That's right.
That's great.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say here before spoilers. I don't think I've got anything to say. Maid Marian. Haven't talked about her. She's good.
Yeah,
she's good. She's not really a trophy in this, which is good.
Yeah. She has an active role in the plot to help out and other things, which I like a lot. I was going to ask, is she a better female lead than Captain Blood, like, comparatively?
She's not on screen as much.
No, but there was a decent amount of screen time for her.
I liked how there's a point where, we'll get to it in spoilers, but there's a plot where she specifically does stuff to help the plot.
Yeah.
So that's better than Captain Blood for sure.
I think she could have been more involved.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more of a character. But I like how, he sort of wins her over, which I guess is what happens in Captain Blood, is he wins her over. But it feels like he actively wins her over by being winner-overable, whereas I think in Captain Blood, it's more like she falls in love with him because the plot wants her to.
Yeah, in this it's more like, she actually sees that, his values are good because he's bloody trying to help the king.
He sort of proves himself to her.
Yeah. Whereas, in Captain Blood, it's like, I don't know, they fall in love, I guess.
Yeah, like it's believable that she falls in love with Captain Blood.
Oh, anyone would.
A fair call.
Yeah.
But But, like, she could have just easily as not have, like, but the plot said, whereas in this one, like, you feel like, oh yeah, Robin Hood's a cool guy, and he proves that he's a cool guy. And it's a lot more earned than in Captain Blood. He just gives her a big snog without consent, you know?
And then she's like, that was bad, but also, guess I'm in love with you now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think you're right. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention was, a lot of Robin Hood nowadays, it's always, don't you bloody do it. He's gonna take a bite of an apple. You thought I wouldn't meant? Oh my god. Unbelievable.
Literally the worst thing for audio quality, but I was waiting for it.
I would unsubscribe right now if I was just a listener. Yeah, a lot of like Robin Hood nowadays, like Sherwood and the town and everything, it's all like muddy and dirty and gross, and everyone's covered in mud, and they're like really sad all the time because the taxes, and everyone's just absolutely bloody depressed, mate. In this one, it's kind of like a fairy tale. It's all bright and everything, which I think is really cool. But I found that interesting how the evolution of the story of Robin Hood has, like nowadays, it's all just misery out there in Nottingham.
I mean, people were getting, like, put into slavery, killed, murdered, pillaged, like, taxed. Yeah, it was pretty dark in this movie.
It's dark, but, like, the way that the town itself is presented, it's like, it's a cute little town.
Yeah, I felt this movie was pretty dark, to be honest. I thought this was pretty gritty myself. Personally, like, with the whole, they were going around and, like, stabbing and murdering people and putting them in literal slavery, and, like, they steal from people. I thought this was pretty, like, gritty. Obviously, there's, like, the lighter tones in the movie, where they're like, hey, it's a happy hometown. But literally, the after that, there's a scene where it's like, hey, here's all these sick and doddery families that had to, leave their homes because they were ransacked.
Yeah.
And they would have literally died had we not helped them.
Yeah. I think maybe what I'm saying is it's not as edgy as the other movies get. Maybe that's what I mean.
Yeah. Look, I haven't seen the 2006 Robin Hood, but that thing looks super edgy.
The BBC TV show, mate, it was so edgy you'd cut your hand on it.
Yeah. That looked like Arrow levels of edgy.
Yeah. You'd go to turn it on and you just get pricked.
Yep.
And that's partly because in that one, Robin Hood was a prick. Bloody
God, imagine having a likable character as your lead.
Oh.
Lol.
Nah, he was pretty funny. I liked him in that. I don't have anything else to say about this in non-spoilers. Let's rate it, I guess. Unless you've got something. Do you have a conversation point for me, Zach? Points like an arrow, archery. Gonna stick it in an apple. I don't know.
No, I think we get. I have a few more points, but they're like points that I want to bring up when we get to the scenes. So I'm good. Let's rate this movie. I rate this a greater good. E.
That's not a rating.
Goodie.
No, you said greater goodie. I'm writing it down.
No.
Greater goodie.
I want to save that. I want to save that one now. I want to save it for one that has more of a moral quandary than just steal from the rich, give to the king. Also, steal from the rich, give to the king. That was a point we made earlier.
Steal from the rich, give to the king, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really steal. I mean, he does steal from the rich and give to the poor.
A little bit.
But there's also a big plot line of the king, returning and all that. Anyway, what do you rate it?
I'm going to give this stealing from the oldie to give to the goodie.
Yep. There we go. Stealing from the oldie to give to the goodie. I agree. I give it that one as well.
No, you've already given it a greater goodie.
Nope.
You've already given it a bloody greater goodie. You can't change your answer.
I'm changing my answer. Your answer was better, so I want to go with that one.
No, but if we change the answer, then that means that we'll forget about greater goodie, because unless it's written down.
I won't. I want to use it for something else. I want to use it for something where there's a moral quandary. I'm going with steal from the oldie to give to the goodie.
Is this an award? Because that's too much to fit on my page where I write down what we rated the movies.
You can abbreviate it.
Fair enough, then. It's the SFTG award.
Nice.
Well, slap me with a feather and call me Miss Nelly. It's me, Sally McSeller, and I've got a new ad for you today. Why? Patreon.com/oldie-but-a-goodie-pod is the only place where you can get bonus and ad-free episodes from the two podcast hosts you're listening to right now. But here's the thing. I'm very scared of Deadites, and I don't want to go see Evil Dead Rise yet, but I want to listen to their bonus episode. I need a clip to convince me. Here we go.
I would have liked a bit more silliness, and here's how I'd do it. I'd have, like, someone gets murdered by, like, a rubber duck or something, you know, and it's like, holy shit, that guy got fucking murdered by a rubber duck, you know, something like that,
That's
you know?
very Evil Dead. That's the most Evil Dead thing I think anyone's ever said. Someone getting murdered by a rubber duck.
I thought that was gonna happen, you know?
Oh, well, guess I'm going out to the cinemas and guess I'm going to be scared shitless, or should I say bloodless, because I'm going to go see Evil Dead Rise and then go to patreon.com/oldie-but-a-goodie-pod, spend $5 and get access to all their bonus episodes, including that one. Wow, that's so wild. Anyway, where's that feather? Someone needs to call me Miss Nelly. Spoilers, I guess. Robin Hood dies in the end of season 2 of the TV show.
What?
Oh, wait, wrong spoilers.
Holy shit. Why would they do that? That's so silly. That's so dumb.
I think the actor wanted out.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think the actor wanted to leave.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't have that much to say in terms of spoilers, but yeah, like the king's out fighting in the Crusades. Zach, what's your thoughts on the Crusades?
Thoughts on the Crusades specifically?
Yeah, what did you think about them?
Big no, big yikers, big boo-boo.
Yeah,
but
cool.
also, for the grace, for the might of the Lord.
The fuck?
It's a song about the Crusades. Anyway, you know,
cool.
Sometimes you just gotta go get fucking wrecked in a crusade and then come back with empty hands because you fucking failed. Like every crusade, because there was a lot of them.
There were.
And they all sucked.
They were all
they
dumb.
all failed.
Why would you do that? Here's my hot take. The Templars are pretty shit, actually. Kind of hate them all.
It's true. But I can respect it. Look at those big boys in armor going off to waste taxpayer money, you know.
We won't say that we're anti-military on the podcast, but we will say that we're anti the Crusades and the Templars.
Oh, absolutely. That's because I'm pro-military, but anti-waste of military.
Oh. Yeah.
Like buying a $396 million nuclear submarine for a made-up random example. Anyway, continuing on.
I'm watching a show at the moment called Kunk on Earth. It's like a comedy documentary that's like, fuck, it's so dumb. I think there's a point where she's like, and then the Crusades went and took Jerusalem, but then they left. And they left it all alone, so the people who they drove out were like, we'll just come back, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's pretty much what happened. It's like, what was the point of it all? It was so dumb. So dumb. Anyway, besides the Crusades being dumb, it's interesting in this version of Robin Hood, that's a big thing.
Yes.
Much like Captain Blood, there's this whole, like, patriotic thing for the previous king.
Yeah.
And that's what drives the plot forward. They're like, you're not the real king. We're loyal to the previous king.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if the king is like a King fucking Richard.
Yeah.
If he's like a main character in any other version, really.
What's he doing to Richard?
The king's fucking Richard.
Ah, right. Fair enough. Continue.
That's right. I don't know. There's no joke there. It's just. Anyway,
the joke was you, Sandro. You're the joke. Got him.
But like in the TV show, it's more like, oh no, there's bad people. Sheriff of Nottingham's bad bloke, and Nottingham a bad place actually, and the king wants money. That's kind of like what it is a lot of the time. It's not necessarily about the king, which I find very interesting. But I also like how this movie's about that. But it is interesting how, yeah, like it's like he's stealing from Prince John to pay for the ransom to get King Richard back.
Yeah. Although he does spend some of the wealth, on the, like, populace.
Yes.
He keeps everyone fed and clothed and happy. Like, they do a bit of that. But when they get, like, this big 30 million mark, they send all of that to pay the ransom for King John. But then King John has to, like, come back in disguise because, of course, the king, his brother, who has now taken the throne, is after him.
Oh, yes. No, Richard has to come back, which that's right at the end of the movie, but I laughed so hard when it's the scene where they're talking about, we need to get in touch with King Richard. Yes, we do indeed. And, like, he's there, he's got, like, the hood on, and he's like, King Richard, you mean? Why, I'm right here! And then he takes the hood off, and it all is like, oh my god, he's wearing the chainmail, it's King Richard!
Yeah. Oh, that was great.
I loved it.
That was fantastic. I love that. This is a great movie. This is a good movie. It hits all the beats perfectly, and I love it.
It's also, like, it's very camp, I guess. It's probably the first time we've seen a movie be camp this year. It's just kind of funny, but they play it straight.
Yeah.
And you're not sure if it is meant to be a joke, but it is now. And I think that's really good.
I think it's very jolly.
Yeah. I would say it's very merry, Zach. I'd say it's very merry, men.
Yes, the men in this were very merry.
They were.
A bunch of merry men, as it were. But, yeah, like, I love how he's going around, he's having a laugh, he's having jump. It's an adventure,
Yeah.
And Robin Hood is very merry. He mocks the king, he mocks his men, and he doesn't give a shit. He's like, hey, king, yo, fuck you. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. Just try and stop me. I'm a better fighter than all your guards.
So yeah, like, he goes, we don't really ever see him become Robin Hood. He's Robin Hood from the start of the movie. We don't really see him decide to be Robin Hood. We don't really get any backstory on Will Scarlet either. He's just there.
Well, yeah, there's a bit of an intro, because we get a little background on him. So first we start with the king. I think there's the scene with the table. And they're like, yes, my brother's been captured in the Crusades. Oh, well, too bad. Big sad. Anyway, he's not coming back. I'll make sure of it. And I'm the king now. So my sheriffy boy,
yep.
You wanna help me out? You wanna do the things? Get that Earl of Robin Hood sorted. Because, of course, Robin Hood, he starts off as a landowner, a baron. He owns land and other things, like estate, everything.
He's basically Batman. That's a hot take. Not really. Everyone knows the Batman came from Robin Hood.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was heavily inspired. But they have a confrontation between Guy of Gisborne and Robin Hood, where a peasant, like, threatens, or does he shoot at Guy of Gisborne?
No, he shoots and kills one of the king's deers.
Yeah, and Guy of Gisborne's like, hey, peasant, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Was it Little John?
That was Much.
Much.
Who is, like, one of the lesser-known characters in the Robin Hood, I guess, ensemble.
Yeah.
But he's good in this. I really, like, he's, like, an older guy. He has, like, a romance halfway through the film. You're like, what's going on? It's great.
It's great. I love it. And it's important for the plot.
It is.
But he's like, hey, fuck you, Guy of Gisborne. I need to fucking eat, and you've taken literally everything from me. So here's what I think about your king's deer. Fuck you. Shove it up your ass, bitch.
Yeah, so he takes the deer and he shoves it up Guy of Gisborne's ass. And that's why he's got such a deer in his ass the entire fucking movie. That's a dumb
that's why
joke.
Guy of Gisborne's so angry all the time. It's because he's got an entire deer up his ass.
An entire deer. It's all the way up there.
And so he's like, yeah, we're gonna hang you, Much, you piece of shit.
But then Robin Hood's like, actually, it was me. Ha ha.
I killed the deer.
I killed the deer because I've got bow and arrow. I'm an archery boy. And you can't catch me. I run away. Hee hee hee.
Robin Hood's like, you gonna hang me? I'm a landowner. You can't do it legally. You have to get the king involved. A lol. And then, of course, Guy of Gisborne's like, king, grant me permission to take all his stuff. He made me mad.
But I'm Prince John, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You are, quite frankly, and pardon my misogynistic French, but you're a bitch, sir. You're a bitch, Guy of Gisborne.
But Robin Hood's a bad man. He's gonna cause you all the problems when you become king. It's gonna be bad.
Sir Guy of Gisborne, more like bitch Guy of Gisborne. You are, you're terrible. You're an absolute.
Why you
you're the
say
worst.
that to me? Why you say that to? Oh, who's that coming into the feast right now?
Oh my god, it's bloody Robin Hood coming to my feast. He's coming to my feast and he's saying treason. He's saying he's gonna kill. Well, that's it. That's bloody treason. And we get a great line where Robin Hood is like just being an absolute mad lad to Prince John.
Yeah.
And Prince John is like, why, sir? You speak treason. And Robin Hood's like, fluently. I was like, fuck yeah!
Woo! Got him. Kapow. Kapew pew pew. Nah, it was good. I love that scene because, yeah, they're having a big feast. Lady Marion's there.
Yeah, that's why we're introduced to her. That's right.
Prince John. I love his, like, sort of arrogance almost. And, like,
I loved him in this. Like, he's kind of weaselly.
Yes.
But he's also smarter than a lot of the other versions of this character.
Yeah. Well, that's it. He's a bad guy, but he's in his position for a reason.
Yeah.
But he's also very arrogant and very thing, which I like a lot because it plays out. He's like, no, let Robin Hood sit down. Yes, give him some food. Yes.
And then Robin Hood's like, I'm going to parkour out of here. I'm grabbing the torches. Can't catch me. And that was great. Just a long action sequence of, like, sword battling and horse racing, and it was fantastic. And it all ends in Prince John being like, Robin Hood, I'm going to have him hung. He'll be dangling for a week. Hey, yo.
What?
Hey, dangling for a week.
What?
The dick joke that I wrote down in my notes. I watched this very early in the morning.
Yeah, I can tell. What? What? Shut up.
Not my best joke, but I wrote it down, so I had to bring it up.
That's fair. I appreciate your commitment to your very early joke making.
I also wrote down that Will Scarlet looks a lot like Justin Bieber. Now that I've Googled him, I can see that this is incorrect.
This is the least Justin Bieber looking Justin Bieber you could have brought up.
I guess he looks like Yasuka / Dandelion from The Witcher.
I am trying to find a single photo that makes him look like Justin Bieber,
yeah.
And I cannot. So I'm going to have to hard disagree with you.
One of the fucking picture results was when Worf was Will Scarlet in that Next Gen episode where they...
Oh, right. Yeah. That's great. Anyway, so now we have our players in the game. The game begins. And we have Robin Hood. He's an outlaw. He's got a warrant on him and everything.
Yes.
And King John's after him. Where we have Robin Hood, he's a local hero because he's helping people. And so we have a big recruitment drive as we meet some of the main recruited people.
That's right. We got a Suicide Squad style introduction to everyone.
Yeah, it pops up on screen, it has their name and like 3 random facts about them or a joke or something, you know.
It's like John the Little. He's actually not very little. His name is John. He listens to medieval music.
Yeah. Friar Tuck. Eats for 5, hits for 10.
What is this, some sort of Robin Hood?
What are we, some kind of Sherwood squad?
Oh, God. That's the worst thing. They introduce Friar Tuck and they make a bunch of weight jokes. For example, when one of the guys is like, Friar Tuck, I'm going to attack him. And Robin Hood's like, don't worry, he's one of us. One of us? He looks like 3 of us.
Ha ha! Fat shaming. Boom, got him. But also, there's a few ones. Who's the guy with the staff that he fights at the start? Is it Little John?
That was Little John, yeah.
Yeah, Little John. He fights with the staff. And I liked it because Robin Hood gets beaten.
He does.
Like, Little John fucking wrecks Robin Hood. And Robin Hood's like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. You want to join us? And he's like, hell yeah, I do. It's awesome. I love this little merry men thing. Yeah, Friar Tuck. I loved how they were like, wait, Robin Hood, don't approach that friar. He's actually, and then someone interrupts, really timid. Wink, wink.
Yeah. They're all playing pranks.
And then, so Robin Hood, like, is joking around with the Friar Tuck. And then Friar Tuck, of course, pulls out his sword because behind Robin Hood's back, the two men go, isn't that the most dangerous swordman of, something? Yeah, it's like, yeah. Robin Hood and Friar Tuck battle, and then Robin Hood's like, Friar Tuck, I offer you the finest mead and food in the land if you'll join up with me. And Friar Tuck's like, oh, you should have led with that.
My tummy's rumbling right now. I'm bloody on board.
Yeah.
It's good fun. I liked the scene where they, Guy of Gisborne and Maid Marian are like escorting shipment of taxes, and Robin Hood and his men try and infiltrate it by swinging on vines. They're swinging on vines.
Yeah.
Woo! Fuck yeah.
The scene was very chaotic.
It was so dumb.
Watching the actors like just swinging around, landing on each other and other things. Very chaotic. I love that Guy Gisborne's like, there's no way Robin Hood would attack us. He's too scared. What a little baby boy.
Little baby boy.
And of course, immediately they get attacked.
They get attacked and they take everyone hostage. And we got your Much, who's chatting up Maid Marian's, I don't even know what to call her, like...
Handmaiden.
Anyway, he's talking to her, and he's like, I've never tickled a woman's fancy before. And I was like, whoa! That's a fingering joke.
Yeah. She's like, no woman's ever tickled your fancy before? And he's like, I've never tickled a woman's fancy.
I was like, surely they didn't write that with the, nowadays we all know what that means.
Oh no, they absolutely did.
You think that's okay, fair enough. I reckon
Much and Bess are fucking.
They do. It's great.
They're fucking.
That's great.
They were my power couple. It was great because Bess is a badass. This handmaiden, she's like, fucking Robin Hood, if you touch a hair on my lady's head, I'ma fuck you up.
Yep.
And I was like, she's literally the only one there out of all these, like, armed men who are, like, being captured, who are, like, standing up to Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And I was like, you go, Bess.
Bess is fantastic. And also kind of the reason why everyone lives at the end of the movie as well.
It's true. And for the reasons of the plot, the relationship between Much and Bess is very, very important. So yeah, they have this whole thing where there's this feast and they've captured the Guy of Gisborne and the sheriff. Marian's there, and she's like, I hate you, Robin. You're a bad person who steals from people just to get rich. You're so bad. And then Robin Hood's like, hey, men, what are we going to do with all this money? We're going to send it to the king. Woo! And Robin Hood's like, just an eyebrow raise, like, man, it seems like that's what they want to do.
That's right. And up until this point, I thought that this was a very communist movie, taking from the rich and then given to the poor. I was like, I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this communism on my screen.
You iconically hate socialist policies.
I do, indeed. But at that moment, they brought me around. I was like, okay, no, never mind. It is for king and country. Bloody good. Fucking hell. Yes.
Absolutely. For the grace, for the might of the Lord.
Anyway, they fall in love. So
yeah. Robin Hood then is like, if that's not good enough to get our love story started, let me show you all the people I've helped. Like literal children and old people and the sick and elderly. All these people who are like, thank you, Robin, you saved us.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is what happens when, asshole king comes and taxes everybody and steals everything.
Yep.
It's bad.
It's bad.
People die.
And she's like, oh, yeah.
Maybe these evil people I hang out with aren't so good.
Maybe they're bad. And so that's when she's like, bloody heckin'. And so they go back to the castle, and Guy of Gisborne's like, I'm gonna hold an archery contest. Here we go. Archery contest time. And I was immediately like, they got big shoes to fill. 'Cause archery contest in the animated Disney movie, incredible. iconic.
Very good.
The tension, the visuals, the music, the sexy foxes. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yep.
And I don't think this archery contest is quite as good, but it was very good, and I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, they're limited by the technology of their time.
The sexy foxes, yes. There's not as many sexy foxes in this version.
Yeah, you can. Look, I think this is the best live action Robin Hood.
Oh, 100% this is the best live action Robin Hood.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Men in Tights. Again, we should watch Men in Tights, but...
We should watch Men in Tights that I have seen.
Yes.
You know, Men in Tights might change that. But
but Men in Tights always changes things, Zach.
your foxes in tights, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the archery contest was great because the evil conniving villains are like, we'll bait Robin Hood out with this archery contest so we can capture him. And of course, Robin Hood's like, well, I'm gonna win this fucking tournament. It's clearly a trap, but like, I'm not gonna pass off the fact that I can fucking beat everyone. And of course, there's this also archery contest where Robin Hood's like, he's disguised as like a local craftsman or something, which is quite good.
He's disguised and he wins, and everyone's like, "Well, that's Robin Hood."
Yeah. There was a thing where Robin Hood's like, this target's far too close. Maybe we could send it further away so that real men could do some archery. Which is great.
That's in the animated one too. Except I think they keep doing the joke. It keeps going back further and further and further. Whereas in this, it's just one time. But yeah, they capture him. He's to be hung. He's to be hanged. I need to start saying that correctly. He's to be hanged.
I mean, he's probably both.
Here's Errol Flynn. I mean, he's Australian, so...
Absolute mad lad.
I'm not sure
probably drinks a long neck of VP every morning. That's my Robin Hood.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, he's to be hanged. He's to be hanged, so we get escape time where Maid Marian tells all the blokes, and they're like... Time to help him.
Well, yeah. Lady Marian gets the password, so she goes and, like, meets with the merry men, and they're like, we don't trust you. This could be a trap. You're evil. And she's like, I just want to fucking help. And they're like, well, that's fair enough.
Yep.
Can't argue with that.
Let's go. And we get an incredible action sequence where they free Robin Hood.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of fighting, and it's just one scene where... There's the big old, like, medieval castle gate that they've got to get through to get back out. The portcullis, yes. To get out into the forest, and Robin Hood, like, everyone is out of the gate but him. He's running up. He grabs the rope. He cuts it. So as the gate falls, he rises to the top of the gate, and it's all in one shot, and it's him. I think.
Yeah.
He goes to the top of the gate and then he fucking like goes down the other side, and I'm like, that's a dangerous stunt. That's a dangerous stunt.
But it looked awesome. It was really cool.
It was so cool. It was so good. Very impressive.
And then, of course, so yeah, Robin and his merry men meet up, and
don't worry about it. Just my water bottle falling on the ground for no reason. Don't know how that happened. There's a ghost in my room currently.
Yeah. It's actually the merry men that I've hired to assassinate you mid-podcast.
The tiny merry men, yeah.
The tiny merry men, yes. Well, I couldn't afford the big ones. So the guy of Gisborne, though, is like, hey, Mary, did you fucking help Robin Hood escape? And she's like, no, me? No, I didn't do that. And Guy of Gisborne's like, yeah, we're gonna execute you.
Oh, no!
We're gonna put you in the dungeon and execute you. And then Robin Hood, he's like, oh shit, they're gonna kill my
wife. Oh,
my wife.
Yep.
So he grabs the gang, and they're like, what are we gonna do? But then we get a scene.
Yep.
In a tavern.
You were jumping all over the place, but yeah, I love this.
Look,
I'm living for it. The tavern. Speaking of living for it, who's in the tavern? Who's alive? Why, it's King Richard.
Yeah. He's sort of disguised. They've got hoods on and stuff, and they're going around as just sort of basic travelers.
Yeah.
And they meet with a bishop
The title is The Bishop of the Black Cannons, which is, fuck yeah, that's metal. That's so fucking metal.
Yeah, he's a bishop. The bishop is complaining because he's just been robbed.
Yeah. And he's like, bloody hell, bloody PC culture can't go anywhere without getting robbed these days. This is unbelievable. I'm a man, and I'm getting robbed. Bloody Robin Hood culture. What is this?
Okay.
That's pretty much what he says, though.
And the king's just sort of learning what's happened while he's been gone.
Yeah.
And he, like, learns from this bishop, like, that all the peasants are getting fucking railed over, and that all these rich people are doing well, including his brother, who wants to, take over. But this Robin Hood guy's been going around and keeping these lands safe.
And so he's like, I've got to bloody meet this Robin Hood, I tell you what.
Yes. So he comes up with a plan to sort of, like, I think he spreads a rumor that he is coming through with a bunch of money.
Yes.
And then he goes into the forest, and who shows up but Robin Hood? And he's like, good sir, you look like you're traveling very wearily. You're not making much progress. Maybe I could lighten your load. And at one point, they're like, why are you stealing all this? And Robin Hood's like, for the good King Richard.
Yes.
I love him.
I've got a big crush on him. I'm Robin Hood. I've got a crush on the king. Don't tell him, though.
Yes.
Don't tell him, sir.
And then King Richard's like, King Richard, I love no other more. Yeah. Which was very funny.
It was good.
King Richard, what a guy. King Richard gets my vote. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, look, I've been saying it since the start of this year. ACAB, all kings are bad, all crusades are bad. But King Richard can bloody get it, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, whereas I am pro King Richard and pro the Crusades.
That's right. It's because you're sponsored by the Windsors. You're sponsored by King, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't give a fuck.
The new King Henry or whatever his fucking name is.
I don't know what his name is. I don't care.
New King.
Did you just Google new King?
King Charles.
King Charles? Well, I say King Balls.
Well, he's literally, as of recording this, he was coronated yesterday.
He was coronated yesterday. You're dating the bloody podcast, Zach. What are you doing, mate? You're dating the podcast.
Well, you can cut
Why
it out.
are you dating
Fuck
the podcast, buddy? Buy it a drink first.
Wait, you can cut it all out because you're going to have to cut out this Apple sound.
Oh, for fuck's sake. But the Apple sound was already an integral part of a joke earlier, which means it's staying in, Zach.
Oh, no.
You don't know how my editing process works, actually. Anyway, this is a long episode, so we got to get through this part. Robin Hood's like, I wish we had a King Richard around here because Maid Marian is going to be killed. And King Richard's like, a King Richard, you say? Why, hello there! And then he takes off his hood and stuff.
Oh my god.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky merry men. Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I did write down the scene, and I forgot to bring it up when you were talking about the scene where Robin Hood stops King Richard on the road. He's like lying on a tree. He's like,
yeah.
or like,
very casually. It's great.
He's like casually lying on a tree, and he's like, "Why stop? For I'm here." And like he gestures across his whole body. That's the scene from Shrek, I think. I think that's the scene from Shrek.
Yeah, directly referenced. Yes,
which is great. I love that.
This is very good. This is probably my favorite scene in the movie. The sequence with King John like showing up, and obviously Robin Hood doesn't know it's King Richard.
King Richard, yeah.
I should say. Because John's the evil one.
Yeah.
King Richard talks to him about what's going on to learn what's going on.
Yes.
And he learns via talking to him that he's pro King Richard. The only thing bad that Robin Hood says is that King Richard shouldn't have gone on the Crusades.
Yes.
Which King Richard kind of looks like he agrees with.
I find that very funny how this movie, like, even this movie's kind of anti-Crusades. It's like, oh, well, yeah. Kind of dumb, actually. Richard's like, yeah, look, to be honest, yeah, kind of fucked.
This was past the Crusades, and the Crusades, canonically, in history, big failure.
Really dumb.
They were only failure. Even in their goals, it was just really bad because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And everything.
And now it's time for the final showdown. They've got King Richard. They head to the castle where Maid Marian's about to be killed. And King Richard, he does the exact same reveal again, where he's like, I'm just a man in a cloak.
Yeah.
I'm just a man in a cloak. Oh, Prince John, your brother wouldn't like what you're doing, would he? Oh, but my brother's dead, you little man. Little man. I'm King Richard. Take off my cloak. It's me.
Yeah. It's good. Because they sneak in pretending to be nuns.
Yeah, that's right.
Monks, I should say. I like how all of the merry men manage to sneak in. All of them.
Yes.
Even though they're a giant party, because the Pope's there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm going to, christen the new king. It's funny how they got in. And then there's a big fight scene here.
Yes.
Which is great, because it's Robin versus Guy of Gisborne.
Oh my god, this fucking fight is amazing. Yeah, because
they have some very well choreographed swordplay.
It's not just well choreographed, it's well shot. There's a scene where they're fighting in like a big castle room, and there's like a giant pillar in the middle of the room. They move out of frame, but because they move out of frame, their shadows get bigger and then go on the pillar, and then you just watch them fighting from the shadows for 20 seconds. I'm
great.
like, this is fun. This is great. This is so good.
Yep.
And then they move back into frame and the fight continues. It's like a minute-long shot. It's just, so good. I loved it.
To finish off the fight, they have like this sort of struggling moment where they're like next to each other, like bracing their swords together. Then Guy of Gisborne sort of reaches for a spare dagger, like a golden dagger that he has at his side, and he tries to stab Robin, but Robin manages to knock that away and push him off and stab Guy of Gisborne. And he's like, and he collapses off the balcony and falls dead to the ground.
Oh, so good. And I'm pretty sure the guy playing Guy of Gisborne was the French guy from Captain Blood, and they have the duel in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's great how it's like, it's time for round 2. That's fantastic.
It's very good. And then he rescues Mary Jane.
Mary Jane?
And they go, and they go swinging around the city.
Oh my goodness, you're getting it all wrong.
Oh shit, I've got the wrong cheat, actually. This is the ending of Spider-Man. Oh no. And then the news report goes live, and it's like,
I'm J. Jonah Jameson, and Robin Hood is a communist, quite frankly.
God, what a twist.
Yeah.
What a twist.
No, it's a good film. It's action-packed. It's a lot of fun. It's very camp, so you can just laugh at it as well.
Yeah, it's like a fun adventure thing. Yeah. And, and then the king, like, pardons everyone and gives Robin all his land back.
The king's like, here's the thing, Robin. I'll give you your land back if you take Lady Marion's hand in bloody marriage. And Robin's like, yes, may I obey all your commands with equal pleasure, sire. Maid Marion's like, oh, you're gonna tickle my fancy, aren't you? And then Robin Hood's like, yes. And then he turns into a fox. And then it's just weird.
I think you're reading from your fan fiction, actually.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Yeah. I had the Spider-Man script. You had the fan fiction script,
And then King Richard's like, why, Little John? I want to see if your John is little. And then Little John's like, well, they call me Little John, but I'm actually quite a big John. and then the king's like, well, I'm King Richard, but you can call me King Dick. and then they fuck.
And then they're hung for a week.
Well, the podcast is now explicit. So there we go.
Oh, there we go.
What the fuck? Why is this episode so loose? It's like we started at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. Like, this is not a particularly...
Look, it's fun. We're having a good time here.
We're having a good time. That's the that's not the podcast. That's Robin Hood, though.
That's the movie. That's the movie.
You've got to kill your darlings, as the writer's adage goes, and I want your help killing mine. Are you a lover of the fantasy adventure novel? Have you ever wanted to add a class at Hogwarts? Or rearrange the nations of Middle-earth? Perhaps you'd redesign the alethiometer or tweak the cosmos of the Discworld. Now's your chance. Kill My Darlings is an interactive fantasy writing podcast where you take on the role of editor and give feedback on a brand new world as it's created, or just vicariously enjoy the writing process. I'm waiting for you to kill My Darlings right now, wherever you listen to good podcasts. Kill My Darlings is proudly part of the That's Not Canon Productions podcast network.
We gonna do a crossover?
Crossover?
Perhaps.
Or a remake? Or a sequel?
Remake, because we don't do crossovers.
We might go back to it. But before we do that, there's so many other versions of Robin Hood I've got to mention, Zach, so we can get inspiration.
There's like a million things, but I know which one I want to do.
Okay, well, I'm interested in which one you want to do. But yeah, there's so many Robin Hood movies. There's a whole bunch in the 40s.
Yeah, Googling Robin Hood is insane. There's like so much stuff.
The notable ones, there's The Story of Robin Hood and His Merry Men, which is the Walt Disney version. That's the Walt Disney version from the 50s. There's the Hammer Films one, which is a British trilogy, I think. In the 70s, we got the animated one. There's a film called Robin and Marian, which stars Sean Connery as Robin Hood. Sean Connery. I don't know what the fuck this movie is. It's like he is a fighter in the Crusades. He comes back and tries to win over Maid Marian's heart, but she's a nun? I don't know what this movie is. I don't know what it is. It looks kind of terrible, not gonna lie. It looks pretty bad.
So in Time Bandits, they meet up with Robin Hood and he joins them.
Wait, Sean Connery is in Time Bandits, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. And Sean Connery's in it as King Argumenon.
Okay. Well, in Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, which is the 1990 version with Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, Sean Connery plays King Richard in that film.
Yeah. And John Cleese is Robin Hood in that movie. And he's so good. He's great.
John Cleese?
Yes, John Cleese, yes.
Is Robin Hood in...
Time Bandits.
Oh, in Time Bandits, right, of course.
Yeah, in Time Bandits, yeah. Because, yeah. John Cleese is hilarious. He's great.
Oh, man, Christian Slater plays Will Scarlet in the 90s version. That looks pretty fun. There's one also in the 90s with Uma Thurman in it. I don't know what this is. It's like Robin Hood, but he's fighting new characters. They make up the plot or something. I don't know. It looks kind of dumb. Then there was the parody with Mel Brooks. Then they took a big bloody break. Came back in 2010 with the film with Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is Robin Hood, and it's sad or something. And spoilers, I think he dies at the end.
Great.
But then, Zach, they made another one in 2018 with Taron Egerton, the guy from Kingsman. He's Robin Hood now, and it's young Robin Hood. Jamie Foxx is another Robin Hood. He's teaching Robin Hood how to be a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He's teaching him how to be Robin Hood, and he's got a crossbow machine gun or some shit. I don't fucking know.
I mean, they do look like they try to make this look pretty cool. I mean, I like Jamie Foxx.
Yep.
He's a cool actor. I like him and everything, but this yeah.
By all accounts, it's bloody terrible. An Australian comedian Tim Minchin is in it as Friar Tuck for some reason. I don't know. He's got a machine gun, Zach. He's got a machine gun that shoots arrows in this movie. So I don't know. I don't know anything.
That's pretty epic.
And that's pretty much all the notable ones. What do you want to do? Oh, and there's the Doctor Who episode where Peter Capaldi's like, here's Robin Hood, but he's a bloody robot. What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
That's an episode of Doctor Who that I remember.
I remember that. That's what the last Doctor Who episodes I watched was one of those ones.
Look, that season had some very good stuff in it, but also very fair enough. The moon is an egg, or whatever the fuck that episode was.
Oh, yeah. Classic. All right. For our remake, I want to make it a little bit more modern.
More modern?
Oh, but not just a little bit more. I want to go into the future. The cyberpunk future.
Oh my god.
Yeah, cyberpunk Robin Hood. It's a natural progression of things.
Cyberpunk Robin Hood. Okay. Oh, and then he's got like a light bow and arrow.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's like a bow and arrow, but it's purple. It's like a Tron bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, a Tron bow and arrow. Like, because it doesn't make much sense for him to have a bow and arrow, but if he has, like, a special, like, Tron one, then it makes sense. Because Cyberpunk borrows a lot from that sort of story, because it's a power struggle.
Yeah.
The same as Robin Hood, where you've got these evil corporations, not a king, but evil corporations that run the city, and the Cyberpunk universe, it's all about, like, rebelling against the corrupt system. Well, that's exactly what Robin Hood is. It's rebelling against a corrupt system. So I feel like it's a very natural story thing where we have this, like, gang who call themselves, like, the Merry Men or something like that. You know, they, like, specifically try and parody Robin Hood.
Are they aware that Robin Hood is a story?
Yes.
And they are specifically, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. They're, like, modern day Robin Hood sort of thing, and they're like trying to steal from people and giving it to the poor, but this time they're stealing from like big corporations and they're doing heists and other things.
Yeah, I know exactly who plays Robin Hood.
Oh yeah?
You're saying Cyberpunk, Keanu Reeves is Robin Hood.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. Hell yeah.
Keanu Reeves is Robin Hood. Like,
absolutely.
Cyberpunked up. He's got like some, like a cyborg eye or some shit so that he can like aim perfectly. Yeah, fuck yeah. So, is it like Guy of Gisborne is the bad guy maybe? He's like head of a corporation?
Yeah, he's head of a corporation.
And is the corporation called Gisborne? So he's Guy of Gisborne. He's the CEO of the company Gisborne.
Boo. I hate that so much, but it has to be a thing.
Yeah.
But there's like there'll be multiple companies. So the like Royal John Company or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll have all these companies, but they'll have like very on the nose sort of
names. Yeah.
Things.
So this is kind of like a joke, but also it's like a fun action movie kind of joke film.
It's less jokey, but there's like hidden things like that, you know, that you'll only pick up if you're familiar with the story, which literally everyone is.
So then who plays Guy of Gisborne? Who's the bad guy? Who do you see as a bad guy?
That is a good question. I could see a few people. My first thought was David Tennant.
Oh, fuck yeah. He's like a businessman who could also be quite mean and everything. Yeah.
And they're, of course, working with the other companies. So you've got, like, Prince John, although he'd be Vice President John. Oh, yeah, he could be the corrupt president. And he's giving out like handouts to all the corporations, you know. He's changing the laws. He's corrupt. He's been bribed by a Guy of Gisborne.
So then is it like, instead of King Richard going off to fight in the Crusades, King Richard goes off to fight in like the AI, like the robot war or something?
Oh, no, I think he was the previous president, right?
Oh, and the movie starts with like the shareholders kicking him out.
Yeah, essentially, like, he was voted in by the populace, right?
Yeah.
And he's, like, a very popular figure. He's, like, the first one to be voted in, and then, like, we see a shareholder meeting with Guy of Gisborne and, like, some other corrupt things, and they're like, we need to take him out. I think in the first, like, 10 minutes or something, he gets assassinated. He gets full-on murdered.
I like that.
And, and then this new corrupt era begins, and then, you've got the Robin Hood gang. They go on heists, they're stealing from these corporations, getting these data, and then there's this, like, big plan or whatever for maybe a robot takeover or something that they have to stop. Because the Gisborne company produces robots.
Definitely. That sounds really fun. So we've got Guy of Gisborne as or maybe David Tennant's Prince John then, and we get someone who is a bit more of a fighter for Guy of Gisborne, because then he can be, yes, a businessman, but also he's got a rivalry with Keanu Reeves, and they've got to have a bit of a punch on as well.
Yeah, we gotta make him a big man. He's got like cybernetics as well.
You know who it is?
Who?
It's Dave Bautista.
Oh, Dave Bautista! Yes, Dave Bautista. Yes. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, he would look so fucking cool with cybernetics.
He would, wouldn't he?
He would look fucking scary. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'd love that. And he's got like cybernetics that make him go super fast, but he's like giant and so he's smashing things. Oh, this is awesome.
We've only got a few like cast members that we can recast, but I do want to do some of the Merry Men.
Yeah.
Who
Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck.
Vin Diesel.
No, can't. No, not Vin Diesel.
John Cena?
John Cena as Friar Tuck is a pretty good idea.
He's more of the fun one where it's like they go to like get the friar and he like stands up and it's John Cena, so he's like fucking massive.
Yeah.
It could be The Rock as well. That would be funny.
I think John Cena is probably funnier than The Rock. I'm just thinking if like he would take like that sort of role though, if he would go for more of a side role.
Oh yeah,
I think he would.
I think he would, absolutely. He's a cool guy. He's been in a lot of comedies, so you know, I feel like he'd be down.
If we're going for this sort of team, I'm like, for Little John, we did already cast her in the Mummy remake, but I mean, just after seeing her in like the D&D movie, Michelle Rodriguez is such a good action star.
Absolutely.
I think she would be fun as like a Little John sort of character. Or maybe she's more of a Will Scarlet.
I also think, obviously, you could have like John Cena as Little John.
That's funny. Oh, and then Michelle Rodriguez as Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like
there you
that
go.
idea. Okay, we'll do that. And the only cast member, like Will Scarlet, who cares, is Maid Marian. We'll do Maid Marian.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, Maid Marian. Sandra Bullock? No.
Oh. I think Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, they were Speed. So
Yeah.
You get them back together.
Yeah. I like Sandra Bullock because she could do like a businesswoman sort of attire, you know?
Yeah.
But then she sees what's sort of going on corrupt. She could be like one of the few people who doesn't have cybernetics and stuff.
Yeah.
And at one point, there's like a thing where no one can get in because they can detect metal. But Sandra Bullock doesn't have any cybernetics, which is very rare for people nowadays. Because when you're born, you get like a chip put in you. But because Sandra Bullock was an important person, she doesn't have this chip. So she becomes like this like ninja for them.
Ooh, I like it. And for a director, there's only one guy. He did one of the best movies of last year, Top Gun Maverick. But most importantly, he did Tron Legacy.
Oh.
Joseph Kosinski, I think, like...
Yeah.
Fucking how he directed Top Gun Maverick, that movie shouldn't be good, but it's amazing. And, like, Tron Legacy, it's like... Tron Legacy is so good. It's like it takes a kind of... I like the original Tron, but objectively, kind of bad movie. It's kind of bad.
Yeah.
Tron is kind of bad. He took that, he made it serious. Tron Legacy is so fucking good. And if Daft Punk was still around, I'd get him to do the soundtrack too, but unfortunately they're not.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'd be Daft Punk. There's some other good ones like Daft Punk, like Justice and others. But, yeah, so you got like Friar Tuck, she's the hacker, because they're the machine worshippers. You got Lil Jon as the literal muscle. You got Keanu Reeves as the charismatic leader.
Charismatic-ish, like as charismatic as Keanu Reeves can be.
He's more of a serious character in this one, who's rebelling against and helping people, that sort of thing.
Well, then we can probably kind of see it maybe all from the perspective of Little John then.
Yeah.
It can all be from his perspective. Like have John, like it's like John Cena is he's maybe like a security guard for the company.
Oh, that's cool.
And maybe he has the rivalry with Dave Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
And not Robin Hood. Robin Hood goes after David Tennant. But then John Cena has got to fight Dave Bautista, kind of like a wrestling.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. All I want is a bit of slice of life in there. You know, we see, the cyberpunk world, and we see like Little John, he has to, like, go and feed some homeless people, and you see the state that they're in, you know, some cyber junkies attack, and they have to, like, defend them off, you know.
Oh my God,
It's good times. It's good times.
And then we get a video game made by CD Projekt Red, and it's actually good. It's actually good this time.
What a twist. What a timeline.
Well, that's the episode right there. Robin Hood 2047.
2047, yeah.
2077 Robin Hood or whatever the fuck. Yeah. I would 100% watch this. But that is the episode. Thank you so much for listening to the bloody podcast, mateys. Don't know why I said that. What? It doesn't... Who cares?
We be Captain Blood / Robin Hood. We're just gonna steal your money on Patreon.
Oh?
Go to Oldie But Goodie Patreon. We post bonus episodes there. We recently did the new Evil Dead movie.
Yep, that is out right now. You can check that episode out right now. I believe the next episode was voted by our patrons. It is the Steven Spielberg film AI.
Ooh, yes.
And Nicolas Cage, Cagerama, number 2, next month.
Cagerama, it's just around the corner. I can smell it. I can smell Cage's musk. You know, just around the corner. It's fun.
We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we are on YouTube as well if you want to leave us a comment. I laugh whenever I get a comment because they're usually someone complaining that we didn't upload the movie.
Lol.
All the links to the episodes in all the stuff and things. I'm in Sydney at the moment, but I'm kind of getting back into streaming. Maybe, who knows? Zach, you should start streaming too. We could do streams.
Yeah.
We could play Uno. I don't know. We could play Monopoly and just complain the entire time.
Fuck yeah. That sounds terrible. I love it.
But before we wrap up the episode, I've got to pick next week's movie from 1939, Zach.
Ooh, 1939. What movies we got there?
The first thing that jumps out to me is Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels came out in 1939.
Oh, yeah. We've got one of your personal favorites, Gone with the Wind.
Oh, it's so boring and racist and problematic. I don't like it. It's a bad movie.
Yeah, you're definitely anti-Gone with the Wind. That's definitely the most famous, I think, from this time.
The Shirley Temple movie, The Little Princess. I do like a bit of Shirley Temple. I was kind of hoping that we would do one of her films on the podcast, but there's too many other good things.
I also love a Shirley Temple.
They're pretty good, eh?
Hey.
Why don't you get your drink on? I don't know.
Ooh, Of Mice and Men.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's a very famous movie.
Mice and Men. There's I think it's a Western. Yeah, the Western film Stagecoach, which is pretty popular. It's a popular one, but Zach, no.
Oh.
Zach, no. Zach, stop what you're doing, no.
I'm stopped. I'm not doing anything. What's happening? What are we doing?
We got to do one movie. One movie that's notorious for not only being fantastic, but also being responsible for many people getting sick.
Wait, are you saying the people in the movie got harmed by filming the movie because their director mistreated them the whole time and had the main lead on hard drugs constantly?
And also had a literally bound, her chest literally bound so that she looked like a child the entire time, so she couldn't sing properly.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's
And they
horrible.
put a guy in a lion outfit and he was constantly passing out, and you can hear it.
Outfit.
You can hear it. You can hear him passing out on set.
That must be some obscure movie that I've never heard of.
Heard of?
Weird movie in 1939 that got published, but nobody watched it because obviously everybody would have been against, such abuse of the cast. So what's this weird, obscure movie that you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about a movie that's, it's directed by the guy who did Treasure Island, directed by the guy who did Captain's Courageous. And yes, while he was the director, not the abuse is not necessarily his fault, because the movie was made by MGM and they're the worst.
That is true. MGM, that makes sense. Wait, MGM?
With the lion.
Wait a minute, Wait a minute.
I'm talking about Sam Raimi's movie Oz the Great and Powerful, starring James Franco.
Oh. I thought you were talking about something slightly different.
What did you think I was talking about?
The Wizard of Oz!
Oh, yeah, we should do that instead, because that's a lot better than Oz the Great and Powerful. Let's do that one, actually. We're not in 1938 anymore, Zach. We're in 1939, The Wizard of Oz.
That's true. And man, we're going to have half the episode be talking about what the fuck happened on set at The Wizard of Oz. Because it was wild. There are documentaries about it. Because it was horrible.
Awful. And it's honestly amazing that from memory, I haven't seen it since I was a teenager, from memory, that movie is pretty good.
Yeah. No, they made a good movie via abusing their cast, for sure.
We'll do that next week. The Wizard of Oz. That'll be a lot of fun to see if that holds up. But let's wrap it up right now. Zach, you've got to, speaking of the wizard, you got to whiz out of that body.
That's right. I do have to pee. You are correct. All right. So
I set him up. You knock him down.
With my stream of piss.
Oh my God, there's pee going everywhere.
At least it's not my precious ink this time.
That's true, you person, Mr. Biro, Mr. I stole the idea of a pen. You didn't. I apologize. I had a look at the other guy's pens. They're kind of bad. You're kind of a legend, actually. I really hope that you didn't do anything bad.
I didn't really. I just kind of patented a pen that became really popular. That's about it.
You might want to move to Argentina soon, by the way. Just FYI.
Yeah, because of the Hitler? Yeah, I know. We talked about that earlier.
I know. I'm just, saying that you should do that.
Okay.
You should definitely do that.
I will.
Great.
Are you going to leave now?
Me?
What is that orphan there, by the way? What is that orphan there, by the way?
The orphan?
He's just kind of been hanging out this whole time.
Yeah, he does that.
What's going on? Does anybody have any money for bread?
Oh my God, he's drinking from your ballpoint pen.
Glug, glug, glug.
Oh no. I need a punchline to end the episode, Mr. Biro. Can you, what's something funny?
You're putting it on me. You're putting the pressure on me. Why didn't you get the orphan to say something funny?
The orphan it's all just voice lines that were recorded 5 months ago.
Oh.
We need to get Ben on the show again so we can get new voice lines for the orphan.
Get in the fucking portal.
I'm getting in the portal. I'm getting in the portal, Mr. Biro. I'm getting in the bloody portal.
Well, I'll write you up. Because I invented the ballpoint pen.
I guess that's a punchline to end on. That's fine, I guess.